Hey, this is Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Listen, I was thinking for a second. Did you know there are two powerful paths that will help you get to your financial mission? Well, you're probably saying, well, what paths are those? So I'm going to give you two examples on this one slider so that you have an idea of how it works. And I'm going to give you an acronym because I think people do better with acronyms. And so I want you to think about True North, North Star, or let's just say STAR, the financial star to be exact. We're going to look at the purpose, the plan, the discipline, and the freedom to build legacy. Now, I need you to understand something. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. I repeat, situation, task, action, and result. Now, you may be saying, well, what does that have to do with my finances? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Because what are you dealing with right now financially? And have you tasked your money to handle those financial situations? And better yet, have you taken action to help you get where you need to be financially? And then, what are the results? Have you really looked at what you want your results to be, or in fact, measured what the results are? I tell people all the time that most people fail because of a lack of knowledge and because most people don't fail on planning, they just fail to plan. So, with that said, let's look at example one, the financial star. Of course, there's five strategic points of a star, at least in our example, but you have one financial mission. So, I'm going to break this down to you a little differently. So, when we look at number one, we're talking about secure your foundation. Secure your foundation. What does that mean, Mr. Financial First Responder? That means we want to protect what matters most and build a strong financial base. Most of you, I hope, have seen a house or some structure being built. Do they start with the roof? Do they start with the walls? Do they start with a door or a window? No, they start with the foundation. So, securing your assets. How do we secure that? Well, we build an emergency fund. We protect it with life insurance, disability, health insurance, property insurance, and then we create a spending plan. And we live below our means. Remember, strong today, protected for tomorrow. Now, in the STAR mechanism, we talk about the target. A lot of you are riddled with debt. And I say riddled because it is a riddle. It is an enigma. It is a conundrum. It is something that you don't realize that you're doing. The first thing is you got to know your numbers. You got to attack those high interest debt, whether you use the snowball method or the avalanche method. You need to eliminate as much debt as you possibly can. Personal debt is probably a bad thing. Business debt can be a good thing. But we want to improve our credit. We need to have our utilization score about 30% or less. Remember, less debt, more freedom. It says in the Bible, the borrower is the slave to the lender. But I know some of you don't believe in the Bible, and that's okay. But I'm going to tell you anyway. You need to actually allocate your wealth building strategies. Now, how do we do that? We save consistently. We invest for the future, whether that's our retirement being our 401ks, whether it's traditional or Roth, whether it's IRAs. We look at our stocks, we look at our real estate, and then we grow multiple income streams. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but if you're living off of one income stream and that income stream goes away, you're broke. And unfortunately, because you're broke, your life goes for a turn. And then we get into the fourth part of this, review and repositioning. Now, in our program, the first thing we're doing is we're tracking our progress every 6 days. And on the seventh day, we rest. And it's real simple. God made this great world we have in 6 days and rested on the seventh. And if it was good enough for God, it's good enough for me. Now, if you don't believe in God, okay, you can still be a part of the plan, but that's how we operate. In the first week is survival. In the second week is stability. In the third week is growth. And in week 4 is strategic freedom or legacy building. And remember, we review, adjust, advance, and live like our mission is a plan. And then number 5 of the star, we leave a legacy behind. I can't tell you how many people have died and did not leave a legacy behind to their children's children. If you go to the graveyard, you can look at tombstones and see how much they were loved. Because typically the biggest ones or the smallest ones can tell you, or the upkeep of the actual graveyard can tell you how many families have visited their loved ones since they passed away. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe you want to be cremated. Maybe you want to be buried. I don't know. Some of you probably haven't thought that far. But you need to protect your family. God gave you a family, you need to protect them. Plan your estate. And what I mean by plan your estate, you need to get with someone, financial first responder, financial planner, financial professional, and get your wills in place, your trust, and make sure that you update your beneficiaries on a yearly basis around your birthday, right? Just check stuff out. Make sure it makes sense. You want to give with a purpose, whether you're giving to your church, your synagogue, your mosque, whether you're giving to your alma mater, you're giving to your favorite charity, give with a purpose. You need to build generational wealth or a legacy. It says that you are infidel if you don't leave anything behind for your children's children. You see, your legacy is their future. I'm sick and tired of people having to start over every time someone dies. Now, you may be saying, well, what's the bottom line, Mr. Financial First Responder? The bottom line is this. You have one star. Remember, it was situation, task, action, results. So that with that one star, that one system, it's endless impact. Your finances should operate like a mission. Strategy, discipline, and accountability creates freedom, and it allows you to leave a legacy. Now, we talked about the STAR method. Remember, it was your situation, your financial situation, good or bad, your task of how you handle that, what actions you take, and then the results that you ultimately get. Now, let's go to example 2. I call it the 28-day command cycle, where we concentrate over 4 weeks or 28 days, continuous financial command. Now, how does it work? It works as simple as this. You work on your finances 6 days a week. On the 7th day, you rest, just like God did. 4 weeks equals 28 days, and we review, adjust, execute, and repeat. Now, when we talk about the daily command focus, each day you're going to focus on each week's area. You have small daily actions that lead to massive long-term results. And you say, Mr. Financial First Responder, what is my payoff? You're going to have strong cash flow, debt freedom, growing your wealth, and then time freedom. Because you can earn a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money, but you can't get time back. Once the time is gone, it's gone. You can replace money. You can replace assets. You cannot replace your time. There's no magic time machine that you can go back in time, and if I would have did this, then this would have turned out, and that would have turned out. No, you have to be strategic with your time. Time is more important and definitely more valuable than money. Generational impact. I can tell you right now, if you go to a funeral or a memorial service or a wake, you can tell whether that person left a lot of money or assets behind. Because those people will celebrate the life of that individual. Those people that don't leave anything behind, it's just a process to put you in the ground. If you don't want it to be a process, you need to leave something behind that your loved ones will say, you know what? My mom, my dad, my grandfather, my grandmother, my auntie, my uncle, my cousin, my friend, they really loved us because they loved us enough to put something away so that we could have something later, so that we could pass something on. And so in week 1, when we talk about survival, what is survival? Some of you don't really understand what survival is, so I'm going to break it down for you. You need to protect and stabilize your money. How do we do that? We build an emergency fund. We talked about 3 to 6 months times your expenses. Not your salary, not your gross, but your expenses. So in my example, you make $100,000 a year, your expenses is $5,000 a month. You know, mortgage, or as we call it, PITI, which is principal, taxes, and insurance, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And then you have your food, your water bill, light bill, phone bill, maybe internet, depending on what you use. So it should cover your essentials, your homeowners association. You need to cut waste. Some ways that you can cut waste is you can look at what you're spending on apps. A lot of people spend $200-300 on apps that they don't even use, and it comes out automatically on your check. And then you need to look at your cash flow control. You know, what do I have coming in versus what do I have going out? Now, we talk about this financial positioning system, and some of y'all don't even have it. You're like, oh, I don't need any more software. But I tell you one thing. The clients that I have that are on the financial positioning system, it holds them accountable because it has the app that does it, and it has me. And it has themselves. So now they can see where they're at. They're in survival mode. Then in week 2, we go to stability. Now, what's stability, Mr. Financial First Responder? It's where you focus on strengthening the pot, reducing the debt. It is pay down the debt. It's building the savings. It's stick to the budget. It's improve the credit. A lot of you pay more in interest because you carry high balances. If you reduce your utilization down to 30% and you set up automatic payments and you do biweekly payments, you will save money. Week 3, growth. Now, you're probably saying, well, I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm bi-weekly, or I get paid weekly. Or for, some of you educators, you get paid monthly. I know when I taught school for that 1 year I did, thank God for Neal Middle School in Durham, North Carolina. I got paid once a month. It taught me, hey, you don't get paid but once a month. You got to make it work. So in week 3, it's that focus on investments, expanding. How do we invest consistency? We do dollar cost averaging. We put money aside. We put money away, a certain amount, a percentage in our 401k, whether it's traditional, IRA, whether it's Roth, IRA. We do things that will increase our income. Maybe it's a side hustle. Maybe it's extra money. Maybe it's investment property. Maybe it's a franchise. Maybe it's a course that you created. Maybe it's an opportunity that you have to be a silent investor. You build assets. And as one of my mentors who owns a company called Skillionaire, I love that company name. I wish I would have thought of it. Shout out to Dr. Myron Golden. You must grow your skills. You must get better over time. And see, in week 4, you have that strategic freedom or legacy. So you focus on having freedom and legacy. Now, I don't know what freedom means to you. Freedom might mean that, hey, instead of working after I retire, maybe I work 1 day a week on my business, or maybe I do 2 days a week and I rest the other 5 days, or maybe I work 3 days a week and I rest the other 4 days, or maybe I give back to charity, or maybe I travel, or maybe I help a loved one, or maybe I donate my time and my talents to helping someone get their business off the ground or what they're doing, right? So you optimize your investments. You create the passive income. You plan for retirement, and then you build and protect the legacy. We keep talking about getting yourself in a position where you are not pushing every day of the week. So you work hard for 6 days and you rest on the 7th. Now that may be different for a couple or individual. You get to pick the day that you rest. But I don't want you thinking about finances. I don't want you thinking, go to the park, go for a walk, sit down, watch the waves come in from the beach, listen to music, read, whatever it is you do, go worship God, whatever it is, that 7th day is nothing to do with finance. It's being grateful for what you have. So the bottom line is we're on a 28-day cycle, and that can change your direction. Those 4 cycles that we just talked about, survival, stability, growth, and strategic freedom or legacy, you're operating in a month time frame. We only concentrate on 28 days because we know that that's God's number. We repeat the cycle. We master your money, and then we build freedom and create a legacy. So here's a quick comparison. When we talk about focusing, in the financial STAR, the situation, task, action, and results, those 5 core areas of financial success, that is the STAR model. There's 5 points. So you secure your income. You target your debt aggressively. You allocate your wealth building. You review and reposition your assets, and then you have a legacy, you leave a legacy behind. That's the STAR method. Now, when you look at the structure, that 5 core areas that we talk about success is big picture strategy. When you talk about the STAR model, those 5 points is comprehensive and holistic. How many of you thought about your finances being a holistic approach? You work with financial people they only want to sell you a daggone product, and they're not thinking about you financially. So then we look, what's best for us? You have that big picture strategy and balance, and then you have the habit building and the momentum of being a part of the 28-day financial command cycle. Now, I am driven to having people use the 28-day financial command cycle, the financial positioning system to be exact. The key strengths is that weekly phases. Now, in military terms, we operate in phases. Certain things happen during certain phases, right? That's the same thing with your financial life, your financial command cycle. It's actionable and it's repeatable. If you want to be successful, you have to create great financial habits. The truth of the matter is this: it's not about the system. And remember, system saves yourself time, energy, and money. It's about your commitment to your mission or the mission. And the mission should be not to be broke. Pick your path, stay disciplined, and win your future. And make your life great on purpose. Look, this is Mike Barnes, the Financial First Responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. This has been for educational purposes only. I truly hope that this will impact somebody's life. I pray that God will bless you with the information I gave you today. I hope that this makes sense to you in some shape, form, or fashion, that you need to operate on a 28-day cycle. If it's good enough for God and women, it's good enough for your finances. See, financial strength today is freedom tomorrow and legacy forever. And I know that there's nobody out here teaching this, preaching this, talking this, because I've never heard other people talk about it. That's why I designed the financial positioning system. This is educational purposes only. This is not investment advice. If you decide to work with me, we will go through strategy sessions and we will look at how this will best work for you and your family. But I just want you to know, please like and subscribe, share this with someone, and let's take action. Either way, whether you do the financial star system or you do the 28-day financial command cycle, you need to get started. This is Mike Barnes, the Financial First Responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. Share it with someone, and I will talk to you and see you on the beaches of the world. God bless.